What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access Entertainment. As always, please hit that subscribe button. It's right down there and it's free. That enables us to keep coming to y'all as often as possible with as many interviews as possible, as many episodes of the 1st and 15th as possible, as many as the great debaters as possible, and other social commentaries and commentaries that I make on Unique Access Entertainment. So please hit that subscribe button, like our content, share it, talk about it, be about it, each one, teach one. We appreciate your support in getting us this far. If you haven't already, you can also join. Next to the subscribe button, there's 3 different tiers, and that helps us in a myriad of ways as well. In order as me to slide some extra money to the people that help bring you Unique Access Entertainment. Now, today on the 1st and 15th, man, I don't know if you saw it or saw any clips because a lot of people have been posting it, but I watched Busta Rhymes, his speech. You know, he had gotten the Lifetime Achievement Award at the 2023 BET Awards. It took place June 5th, 2023. And it struck me for a number of reasons. One, that Busta Rhymes was getting a Lifetime Achievement Award, and he definitely deserves that. But it also made me think of some other memorable speeches that I wanted to highlight and some of the other things that I saw going on after Busta gave his speech. Now, of course, some of the speeches we've heard at some of these award shows are good. Some of them are bad. Some are inflammatory, what have you. But a lot of them are very interesting and important. And one was one that Kid Capri actually referenced during his routine and his performance as, I guess, the official DJ of the 2023 BET Awards, where he referenced Andre 3000 and his brief but eloquent and powerful speech at the 1995 Source Awards when Andre 3000 said, "The South got something to say."
But it's like this, though. I'm tired of folks, you know what I'm saying? Them closed-minded folks, you know what I'm saying? It's like we got a demo tape and nobody want to hear it, but it's like this, the South got something to say. That's all I got to say.
Now, Andre 3000, you know, obviously at this point in 1995, Outkast had put out Southern Playlist of Cadillac Music in 94. Goody Mob was coming out with Soul Food in 95. So there was starting to be some momentum of this other type of rap that wasn't the Miami-based sound that we got with 2 Live Crew and Luke's roster of artists. And it wasn't the street side, the heavy street side that we got through Rap-A-Lot up to that point. But Andre 3000's thing resonated. His speech resonated with people for decades, and it still does today, which is why Kid Capri mentioned it. But it's been sampled, it's been used in other things. People reference it on a regular basis, and Kid Capri doing so again leads to the example and shows you how powerful some of these speeches are. Now, granted, the Source Awards in the 1995 era was huge and powerful, and one of the few places that showcased a wide array of talent in the rap world and in the hip-hop community, but it did so in a powerful way, in a way that people watched, people paid attention, and it mattered to them. And I think Busta Rhymes, his speech may have some potential to go down in history and be referenced from time to time as well. But, you know, of course, the 1995 Source Awards was more infamous, arguably, for another speech, and that was the one delivered by Suge Knight. And that was quite momentous itself, because that's where all in the videos and all those different types of things that Suge said.
And one other thing I'd like to say, any artist out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star, and don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the videos, all on the record, dancing, come to Death Row.
Now, Puffy responded, giving his speech, saying he was the one that Suge was talking about. And I've seen different things over the years that Puffy's saying that Suge actually was talking about Jermaine Dupri and other things, which I find hard to believe. But regardless, Suge was taking a shot, and he chose, unfortunately, a huge platform to do it, which was the 1995 Source Awards, because so many people were watching it. And it was one of the few things at the time that people were able to really focus on, because there was no social media at the time. The internet, you know, was starting to percolate a little bit, but it was nothing to the magnitude that we have today. The 24-hour news cycle was starting to get there, but rap was largely excluded from that. And because of that, Suge's words lingered. And this divide and this schism between Suge Knight and Puffy in particular only would exacerbate from there and lead to a lot of tragedy, not only the deaths of Biggie and Tupac, but a lot of people in both of their circles respectively. And that obviously was a terrible thing for rap, and that fallout resonates in the music and the culture and everything today, still in 2023. And this is something that Suge said at a speech at the Source Awards in 95. But this is all stuff that made me think of when I was watching Busta Rhymes' speech. He was dropping a lot of great information, some stuff about his career I was unaware of. So I was grateful and glad that I watched it. Shout out to my wife, Davida, for wanting to watch the BET Awards, and then, you know, my deciding to watch it with her. But I was glad that I got to watch it because, you know, he was shouting out his children and he named them all. He gave them all little thing and a little shine for themselves. But then Buster was also talking about stopping beefs and stopping negativity, which of course rap has had gone a long way at times to stopping beef, but then it's also gone a long ways to igniting, festering, and fueling beef. But Buster also was notable for his speech for shouting out new artists.
I rock with all of my new artists. Everything about me is leading the new. Shout out to every new artist that's contributing and doing their job. I love seeing Ice Spice. I love seeing Coi Leray. I love seeing Kendrick. I love seeing J. Cole. I love seeing Wu-Tang. I love seeing Nas. We're going to stop this narrative like we don't love each other. This divide thing. It's corny, it's tired, it's whack. What's really happening is they scared for us to get together.
And Buster also is talking about how, you know, the culture and people need to realize that we love each other, and that, you know, the powers that be are afraid of rappers potentially giving too much information out. And that's why some of the messages are diluted, or record executives really want to fuel the beef at these corporations. And then that trickles down into what we see on television, in the songs themselves, on albums and videos, etc. But Busta Rhymes, to his credit, was talking about how artists, both of his era, which remains still today, but the newer artists that are emerging that he referenced, and others, of course, there's dozens of them, but that the artists need to lead by example. And I thought that was very powerful because, as people may recall, there was a lot of times in the 80s and 90s in particular, artists, athletes, entertainers would say, I'm not a role model. And here Busta Rhymes is flipping that on its head and saying, no, we need to lead by example because people look at us. And that's always been the case with entertainment and with celebrity. So I was glad that Busta Rhymes said that. And Busta Rhymes also had a very important level and layer of what he said, which is that as he was trying to learn about the business, as he was rising through the ranks of the music industry, that Big Daddy Kane, that EPMD, and that Chuck D, for instance, were some of the people that gave him information, dropped jewels on him, and taught him about the business and about life and about being a man as you navigate through the treacherous waters that are the music industry. And I thought that resonated with me on many levels because, one, you know, we need to hear more of artists about paying homage to one another in real time. And it was great to hear, even though this happened decades ago, that the work of what Big Daddy Kane, what EPMD, and what Chuck D said to Busta Rhymes back in the 90s would have resonated with him so much that he decided in 2023 to reference it and mention it in the speech explicitly. That shows the type of power and unity and strength that, you know, sticking together and doing the right thing by your collaborators, your colleagues, your friends, how that helps people. And that's obviously not unique to music, and it's not distinctive to music, but it resonates because Busta Rhymes is saying it to where hopefully whoever was watching the BET Awards or watching this video, or we're seeing Busta Rhymes clips online because of the power of his speech, I think that's all very important. And that is what we look to from our leaders. And to a lot of people, myself included, we look to entertainers, we look to musicians, we look to rappers as leaders and as sources of information, as inspiration, and all these different things. And I think that's very powerful. And I don't know if this was a direct result of it or if it happened slightly before, slightly after, but this type of messaging also resonated with Cormega, for instance, because he posted a speech by Digable Planets Butterfly. And in his caption, Cormega was saying, "You're only as real as what you stand for, and that respect lasts a lot longer than fame." And he was always going to respect Digable Planets for what they said. Now, what Cormega put up was the speech from Butterfly after Digable Planets had won at the 36 Grammys. Now, this was back in March of 1994. Digable Planets had 2 nominations. They were nominated for Best Rap Performance by a duo or group for Rebirth of Slick, Cool Like That, which of course back then was one of the biggest songs and arguably a genre-shifting type of sound and sensibility. And they were also nominated for Best New Artist. Now, Best New Artist was won by Tony Braxton, but Digable Planets won the Rap Award, which is significant because, just to put it in perspective of how big Rebirth of Slick was at the time, they were up against Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg for Nothing But a G Thing. They were up against Naughty by Nature for Hip Hop Array. They were up against Cypress Hill for Insane in the Brain and Arrested Development for Revolution. So this is a significant win and a testament to the power of what Digable Planets brought to the table. And, you know, Amir Rahimi and me, we've talked about, Amir Rahimi and I have talked about Digable Planets. There's the link for right there for their debut album and the power of it, because it's an amazing project. But Butterfly in his speech, rather than keep it shallow like much of Digable Planets music, he takes it deep and talks about people that are homeless and don't have any food. He's talking about recognizing the true enemy and how artists and people in general need to stop attacking each other.
We like for everybody to think about the people right outside this door that's homeless as you're sitting in these $900 seats and $300 seats. They're not out there eating at all. Also, we like to say to the universal black family that one day we're gonna recognize our true enemy and we're gonna stop attacking each other, and maybe then we'll get some changes going on.
And so when you look at Butterfly's speech and Cormega highlighting it, you know, again, I don't know if that's directly a result of Busta Rhymes or utter coincidence, but the reality is, you know, there is a tremendous amount of power in these speeches, which ties directly into us as fans, as consumers, looking to rappers for inspiration, for information, for direction, for guidance, for hope, all these different things that we do as fans and as consumers. And, you know, I saw Exhibit had posted some of Busta Rhymes' speech, as have other people. So when we realize that in 2023, these speeches mean something to people, and the fact Cormega went in the archives and pulled out a Digable Planets speech, that shows that that resonated with him, whether he remembers it in real time or whether someone else posted it and he just saw it and decided to put it up himself. It's irrelevant. The fact is, Butterfly said that Butterfly was speaking to the people, and now, you know, decades later, it still is resonating with Cormega and myself and clearly other people based on the comments in Cormega's post. So bottom line is, these speeches are memorable and have the potential to last and to linger, both for the good and the bad. So, you know, as people progress in their different lives, whether you're an accountant, whether you're a school teacher, whether you're a lawyer, or architect, a bus driver, a janitor, it doesn't matter. You know, when you have your platform, what you say matters to people because they're looking to you, or they're listening to you, or they're around you. And Busta Rhymes' speech and the other speeches I've referenced during this talk here on the 1st and 15th illustrate that point. You know, some are looked at positively and have positive repercussions, and some are negative and have negative repercussions and aftermath of that. But regardless, these speeches do have the potential to last, and they do have the potential to mean something to people, whether that's for good or bad. So I just wanted to talk about that and highlight that, because some of these speeches, and now Busta Rhymes' speech is added to that, but they do matter and they do mean something to me as a person and as a rap fan and as a champion of the music, of the genre, of the culture. These type of things mean a lot to people, and as we see, they can resonate for decades. So that's why I want to talk about it here on the 1st and 15th. So please, as always, hit us in the comments section. Definitely always look forward to your insight, your perspective, and your feedback and your comments. So please hit us there. in the comments section. And as always, if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so right there. And if you can, please join us as a member. That really goes a long way to helping us. We're trying to grow and get to that #1 spot in the game. We got a long way to go, but through your support, we've gotten this far, and you know, we got to keep moving, got to keep it going. Anyway, so I'm Soren Baker here on the 1st to 15th. Please support us in any way that you can. I appreciate your steady support in getting us this far, and I'll catch you next time on the 1st and 15th.